Good evening, YouTube. This is Kel 2012. It is November 5th. It is 11:16 p.m. There was a post made or a comment made on my Red Alert Baxter Labs video a couple of days ago, and somebody made reference to it, wanted to know my opinion on it and if I had done any research on it. And I had, but I just hadn't made any. I had sent the gentleman a private message, but I didn't do a video on it. But just to kind of fill a few people in, this was a comment based on aspergillosis or aspergillus disease. I googled some information on it, and it's basically a bacterial. It comes from a fungus, is what it is. Fungus or mold. This mold comes from any decaying plants and so on. There is even reference to it as most of us would know it, like in our homes, if we've ever seen it, that black mold. And normally we have to, like tear the wall out to get that stuff out, have it cleaned out really, really well, because it can cause, allergic reactions. It can affect allergies as far as breathing, and anyone with asthma, anyone with any immune deficiency syndromes. You have two basic forms of it. The invasive one, I believe, is what he's referring to. And what this can do is it can cause infections inside the lungs, as well as infections in other bodily organs. Here's where I have to debate with him on this. As far as I can tell, the only way that this could be as pathogenic as it is if, per se, this antidote that was sprayed somehow hyper affected this mold. But see, here's the thing, it doesn't matter where you live or whatever. This mold is apparent everywhere. Okay? Case in point, during the fall, when you're going out and raking leaves, if you've got problems with allergies, and you get into like the wet leaves and you're raking and all that kind of stuff, and at the end, your sinuses are just driving you nuts. Well, that's partially what goes on here with the aspergillus, that's the type of mold. It comes from decaying plant life and so on. That's how come when they say, oh, you're allergic to molds or things like that, that's really what they're referring to. But I don't see anything that's, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people affected here, okay? We're not talking about just a few cases here and there or what have you. I understand that, it may have been a little bit more severe than in most cases, where they actually did have to put out an antidote. But, maybe. But the only thing I can think of, though, is that the antidote had to, like, hyper excite it somehow. Or change it, literally change it on a molecular level to make it more pathogenic. And I just don't see that. We are talking about, okay, infections in bodily organs and so on. We are not talking about bodies with lung temperatures of 137 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay? They say it's like 90 some odd people that have died, but you and I both know that it's got to be higher than that. There is a media blackout like nobody's. I have never seen anything like this. Nothing. And you think the information's hard to get to in the Ukraine? Try Belarus. And let's see. Seattle for Truth, you know, he's found some stuff in India, and they're trying to figure out what that is. But getting back to we're getting back to the reason for the video. The Aspergillus just doesn't fit the bill. And like I said, unless that antidote somehow hyper excited this whole thing and created literally a monster mold. But I don't know. Is it possible? Yeah. But the thing here is, you got Baxter in the mix there. And, you know, I know I'm harping on Baxter, okay? But damn it, people, look at the links. I mean, look at, you know, Joseph Moshe, or Moshe, whatever he is. Okay? And the whole situation with that. Alright, he named Baxter, he named the Ukraine, and he said vehemently they were going to release a bioweapon by placing it inside of a vaccine. What's going on? I mean, you know, sure, they could use that spraying as a cover story, but I mean, like I said in one of my previous videos, I mean, we're YouTubers, okay? If we can put this together, the link to Baxter, who wouldn't? I mean, it's obvious. It's right there staring at you in the face. I mean, granted, thank you for making the reference to the Aspergillus and the Aspergillosis, because I had never heard of it before. So I learned something new. It made me get up off my dead butt and do some research on that. But I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that I don't agree. Okay? And I'm not a microbiologist either. But you're talking about way too many people affected by just a mold. And a mold that had been around that area for quite a long time, and there had been no deaths. Okay? You know, people may have gotten sick, but there was no deaths. So either that thing got hyper excited and changed on a molecular level by the antidote, or it has nothing to do with that, and, you know, Baxter is responsible again for creating a plague. So I don't know. It could be that the spraying was, you know, people said Moshe did say in a vaccine, but it could have been also sprayed in the form of that antidote, and now people are getting that plague. That spraying may have had nothing to do whatsoever with Aspergillus, and maybe it had the pneumonic plague in it. I don't know. But I said I'd make a video about this, and I did. It's my viewpoint. I don't necessarily agree. If anybody has any questions, all you have to do is Google Aspergillus or Aspergillosis, and you know, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Read up on it yourself. I just don't see it. Okay? Not in the severity that's going on right now. So, this is Cal 2012. God bless, and be of the free of mind.